The story begins with an elderly woman named Judy. She climbs onto a stool, reaching for a toy on a high shelf, but she cannot quite reach it. Judy faints and falls. The scene shifts to the hospital. Judy's daughter, Megan, tells her brother Noah that their mother may never speak again. They both go to her bedside. Judy had suffered a stroke, and now sending her home seems nearly impossible. As they leave the hospital, Megan asks Noah when he will go back. Noah reveals he did not buy a return ticket when he came. Noah used to live somewhere else with their father, while Megan stayed here in this town with their mother. While they are outside, they notice a man named Doug Metzger wandering the streets. Later, the siblings arrive at their childhood home. Noah will stay for a few days. They begin inspecting the house. Childhood belongings lie ruined. Pipes are leaking. When Megan tears open a patched wall, a dead body falls out. They both recognize the corpse. It is Mrs. Metzger, their neighbor who disappeared in 1997. Back in 1997, when Mrs. Metzger vanished, Megan and Noah's parents had left the two children with their grandmother for a week. After that, their parents never left the house again, afraid someone might discover the body. Noah remembers spending hours playing PlayStation in that basement. He shouts that their parents are murderers, otherwise the body would not have been hidden in their house like that. Megan says they have to tell the police, but Noah refuses. 30 years have passed. Their father is dead. Everyone else has moved on. Mrs. Metzger's children are scattered far away. Only Doug Metzger still wanders the streets. No one is looking for Mrs. Metzger anymore. Noah takes Megan's phone so she cannot call the police. Then we learn why Noah is desperate for money. His business is failing. His credit cards are maxed out. Noah came for the inheritance that will follow their mother's death. Megan is shocked. Noah tells her she has the house and family, and he has nothing. If the police get involved, the Metzger kids will sue them and they will lose the house. If this comes out, their father's name will be dragged through the mud and their family's reputation will be ruined. Noah sends Megan back to her home. That night at Noah's house, his husband Diego notices Noah is tense. Diego senses the worry is because of Noah's mother. Later, Megan sees her young son's blood sugar drop and gives him a drink. Meanwhile, Noah walks through the house with a baseball bat, searching as if someone had broken in. He finds a gun. It had belonged to their father. The next morning, Megan asks Noah what they should do about the body. Noah devises a plan. At 3 in the morning, after everyone is asleep, they will take the body, wrap it, and load it into Megan's car. They will drive far away and bury it. That night they go to the woods and dump the body in a lake. But the very next day, while dropping her kids off at school, Megan hears on her car radio that students testing water at the same lake discovered a dead body. The police are now investigating. Megan rushes to the hospital and finds Noah. He tries to calm her, saying maybe the police do not even know whose body it is yet. Before Megan and Noah can speak, Lieutenant Zell has already arrived in Judy's hospital room to ask questions. Judy's speech is garbled, but Lieutenant Zell informs Megan and Noah that Mrs. Metzger's body was found and that their parents were close to her. Noah blurts out that, as children, they had heard that Mr. Metzger had killed Mrs. Metzger. The lieutenant gives them her card and leaves. Megan and Noah speak to their mother and tell her they know. They promise to handle it. You do not need to say anything to anybody, they tell her, whatever you and Dad did does not matter. But when they return to their mother's home, they find Judy's nurse, Grace. Grace is experienced with stroke patients. She knows how to listen to people who cannot speak. Judy has already confessed to Grace that she was the one who killed Mrs. Metzger. Noah says this is insane. But Grace has been coming to the house every day for the past 5 months. She had noticed leaks and other odd things, but Judy had not allowed her to call anyone. Now Grace knows Megan and Noah found the body. Grace demands $10,000 to keep quiet. Noah calls her a dirtbag. Grace fires back, saying, "Yes, your mother killed her friend, you dumped her body, and now I'm the one who's a dirtbag?" She demanded $10,000 to keep her mouth shut. Noah agrees, saying fine, they will pay her. They select a place to meet. Megan and Noah set about scraping together the money. Noah had nothing. Megan did all the haggling on her own. Noah sneers, "Do you really think she will take the money once and just disappear?" He presses her. "We have to scare her. We need people to know we're not to be messed with. Noah suggests they bring in Bodhi. Bodhi is the creepiest person they know. Megan objects. She says they haven't done anything that awful, that they can still call the police. Noah turns up the pressure. If you call, he says, everyone will find out, including your kid's school. You'll have to move. Will your husband find another job with the same medical benefits for your son? He plays on her fears until Megan is cornered and agrees not to call. The next day, Noah goes to see Bodhi. He told him Grace was lying and asked, "Do you really think my parents could have killed someone?" "This nurse has been stealing from my mom," Noah says. "She can tell the cops that mom said something and they'll start treating her like a suspect. My mom, your aunt, is fragile. If she gets stressed, she could die. We will give her money. We just need you to scare her." Bodhi and Noah's families had once been very close, so Bodhi agrees to help. At the time Noah says, Bodhi shows up. He tells Noah he will go in alone because they want to scare Grace properly. But the moment Bodhi arrives, Grace knows what's happening. She is not afraid of Bodhi at all. But when Bodhi notices Judy's watch on Grace's wrist, he loses his temper. "If anything happens to my Aunt Judy," he snarls, "I'll come back and cut your throat myself." Bodhi leaves without giving any money to Grace. Megan and Noah watch him return with the money and Grace storms off furious, which means she could go straight to the police. Noah reminded Bodhi that he was supposed to give her the money. But Bodhi replied, "Do you really think she'll just take the cash and walk away?" Megan panics, feeling the onset of a panic attack. At the same time, the lieutenant learns the body had only recently been dumped in the water, which means someone had put it there very recently. Noah starts twisting his real life into fiction. Just then the doorbell pounds. It's Grace. Noah texts Megan. She is not alone. She has brought a huge man with her. Grace asks where Megan is. Noah says Megan is 20 minutes away. Grace holds up an hourglass and says, "When the sand runs out, I'm calling the police." She takes Noah's phone and tells Grace to get here fast, or the police will be on their way. Megan rushed out of her house, driving as fast as she could. The hourglass runs out, and Grace calls the police. When Megan arrived, the police pulled up right behind her, asking if she had reported any suspicious activity. Noah stepped in and said he had made the call. The police came inside. Noah explained that they had heard a strange noise, but it turned out to be a false alarm and everything seemed fine now. The officer said, "Since I'm here, why don't I take a quick look around?" As he started toward the basement, Megan stopped him. She explained there were raccoons down there. Her mom had told her they probably chewed through some wires, which is why the noise had started. The officer accepted this and left. Afterward, Grace demanded $25,000 by tomorrow, and she insisted Bodhi must not be there. Then the huge man who had come with her punched Noah before walking away. But here we learn the truth. That man was not a gangster at all, he was just a hairdresser. Even punching Noah made him feel sick to his stomach. He complained, "Why did you drag me into this? I've had both my knees replaced." Grace reminded him, "You're getting money for this, Sean. You can put it toward your daughter's college fund." Grace's real plan was to take Noah and Megan's money and still go to the police with the truth. The next day, Megan pulled money from her kids' college funds, from fixed deposits, from wherever she could. She and Noah arrived at the bridge Grace had chosen. But Megan had only managed to bring $22,000. She promised to pay the rest later. Grace rejected it immediately. "Think about it," she said. "What if I showed up late to feed your mother, or didn't give her meals on time? How would you react?" Grace refused to take the money. Megan finally snapped. She told Grace, "Fine, call the police. I'm done with all this. I was only trying to protect my family." But Grace accused her, saying she didn't care about family, only herself. She kept insulting Megan until Megan attacked her. Sean grabbed Megan, but she kicked him in the knee. Sean fell hard onto some bricks. He would not survive it. Grace cried out that they had to get him to a hospital. But Noah pulled the trigger and shot Sean. Grace bolted in fear. Noah ran after her and shot her too. Now Megan and Noah had both crossed the line. They had become murderers themselves. Back home, Megan told Noah to wash his hands again and again to get rid of gunpowder residue. But Noah only clutched his stomach where Sean had hit him. Megan urged him to stay strong. "I need you to hold it together." But Noah kept muttering that he had committed manslaughter. Megan tried to calm him down. We need to cover our tracks. We can't make any mistakes. As Noah stepped out of Noah's car, Doug Metzger appeared. Megan froze as Doug greeted her, saying it had been a long time since he had seen any of them, and it was good to see her again. But Doug noticed blood in Megan's hair. Soon the police discover the bodies of Grace and Sean. It turns out Grace and Sean were ex-husband and wife. Lieutenant Zell recognizes Grace and calls Noah and Megan in for questioning. Before they go, Megan warns Noah to act casual, telling him to just say he didn't know Grace very well and that he had never met Sean. When they sit down with the lieutenant, Megan does all the talking. The lieutenant studies Noah's face and asks if he is alright. Noah nods quickly and says, "Yeah, I'm just wondering what we're even doing here. Is this an interrogation?" The lieutenant shakes her head. "No, you're not suspects. But I do find it strange that since you two came back to town, we found 3 bodies, and all of them are connected to you." That evening, Noah was supposed to come over to Megan's for dinner. But he also brought Bodhi with him. At the table, Bodhi chats with Megan's kids, telling them he grew up alongside their mom. Then he looks at Noah and Megan. "I heard something about your mom's nurse," he says. Megan quickly replies that they weren't very close. Bodhi interrupts, pointing out, "But you did talk to her a lot about your mom, didn't you?" Megan insists, "Not that much." Then Bodhi turns to Megan's kids with a smirk. "I know a secret about your mom and Uncle Noah." Noah and Megan freeze, terrified about what he might reveal. Bodhi grins. "Your mom and Uncle Noah loved their ice cream with rainbow sprinkles." Bodhi seems frightening, but in truth he isn't as dangerous as he acts. He even invites everyone over to his place, promising, "I'll throw some kebabs on the grill." Later, Diego quietly asks Megan why Bodhi is the way he is. Megan explains that he never had stability growing up, never had good parents. Diego looks at her and asks, "Then why are you so unhappy?" Megan quickly brushes it off. "I'm fine." The next day, Noah confides in Megan that Bodhi seems to know everything. Just from the way Bodhi talks, Noah is convinced he knows the truth and that he is completely unstable. Megan tells him they have to move on from Grace and Sean's deaths. She explains that those two were never going to leave them alone anyway, and without ending them, their family would never have been safe. But Noah cannot sleep. He obsesses over it and drives to the hardware store to buy supplies to repair the wall. Finding it closed, he waits outside until morning. Once the shop opens, he grabs all the supplies he needs. When he returns home, he looks out the window and sees Doug Metzger waving at him. After which, Noah and Megan go to Bodhi's house alone, using the excuse that Diego and the kids are busy. Megan and Noah entered Bodhi's house on the pretense of just visiting. Bodhi seemed a little awkward because the place was messy. Then he took Noah to show him a special room. Inside, there were all kinds of swords. Bodhi told Noah to pick one up. He wanted to have a sword fight. Like children, Noah and Bodhi started swinging the blades. To anyone watching, they looked deadly serious. Bodhi knocked Noah down and raised his sword over him as if he was about to kill him. But it was only a game. A game Megan and Noah did not understand. Megan panicked and pointed a gun at Bodhi. Bodhi tried to escape, while Noah grabbed a knife and started searching the house for him. Bodhi came out with a crossbow, looking deeply disappointed that Noah had actually wanted to hurt him. Then Megan shot Bodhi from behind. Bodhi was still clinging to life when Noah rushed forward and stabbed him. Bodhi finally collapsed. When Noah leaned down to check if he was dead, Bodhi struck back, stabbing Noah's hand. Megan fired again, finishing him off. She pulled the knife from Noah's hand and wrapped it with cloth. Together, they dumped Bodhi's body in the lake. Afterward, Megan went to see her mother at the hospital. She whispered to her, "You knew, didn't you? You knew Mrs. Metzger was sleeping with Dad, and that's why you killed her, then covered it all up with him. What was that moment like when you caught them together? How did you kill her? With a frying pan?" Judy looked back at her and said only, "Tell the truth." Just then, Lieutenant Zell came to speak with Judy. She asked Megan about Noah. "I heard he had some kind of accident." Megan answered calmly, "He was just trying to pit an avocado and drove a paring knife right through his hand." The lieutenant then said, "We found a Rolex in Grace's car, engraved with your parents' initials. Can I ask your mother about it? Judy signaled for her to wait, saying, I need to talk to my mom first. The lieutenant turned to Megan and asked, What did you say? Megan replied, I told her she doesn't need to worry about anything. She's safe. The lieutenant gave a faint smile. You know, cases like Mrs. Metzger's often get solved. Maybe it takes 30 years, but a new piece of evidence always comes to light. Or someone finds the gun, and then it all gets solved. Megan left troubled and went straight to Noah. But when she arrived, Doug Metzger was sitting with him, playing video games. Noah had confessed everything to Doug. Horrified, Megan killed Doug too. Noah broke down crying, saying he could not carry the weight of it anymore. He needed to tell someone. He declared that he was going back to California, never to return. But Megan told him no. He would stay right here. Megan hides Doug's body in the same place as Mrs. Metzger's. Now Noah will have to stay here, watching over their mother 24 hours a day. Megan returned to her family and carried on happily, just like her parents had done, concealing murder beneath the surface. And with that, friends, this story comes to an end. Tell us in the comments how you liked this explanation. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.